You remember my imaginary friends?
You can't remember if you're imaginary friends or the voices in your fucking head.
What's the difference? Do you remember what you would yell to me when I was off in my own world?
Earth to Gert.
Where are you, Gert? Earth to Gert. Gert. Earth to Gert. So I'm starting a podcast, and that's the title.
Earth to Gert?
Yeah. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Earth to Gert. Today, right now, I am completely winging this intro. I usually write something, so it is like 1 p.m. on Thursday, and I am literally recording this to put out in the next few minutes. So this is the the most fly by the seat of the pants I have ever been with this intro. So this is just raw me moments before you hear this. So today's episode is a conversation with my big sister, Kimberly. We sort of do a follow-up to her journey, but it's just a general conversation similar to my conversation with Tara about just healing in general and how we get through this world. We recorded this out by the fire, and the audio quality is not the greatest. There are moments where it's very choppy and probably difficult to listen to, and I apologize. But there's so many important parts of this conversation that, I think, are worth hearing. And I didn't want to scrap the entire episode just because of that audio quality. So, deal with deal with it if you want. If you don't, I mean, obviously you don't have to listen. No one's making you, but I just wanted to warn you ahead of time that there are parts of this conversation where the microphones are a little too far away from the computer, and it's just a little choppy. So I apologize. I'm just learning how to walk with this, and I appreciate all of your support and can't thank you all enough for listening. So yeah, here's my conversation with Kim. Kimberly,
Kathleen,
are you ready to podcast?
I am ready.
Okay. I don't know how to start since you've already been a guest on my show. Do you have any other random memories of me that you'd like to share with the class?
With the class? Who's the class?
My Gertlings.
Oh, that's what they're called?
I don't know.
That's really weird, Tara. I hope you're listening to this. Gertlings, I am not going to be called a Gertling. I am sorry. I thought Tara had a nice idea.
No. She asked for submissions.
Oh, right. Gertlings. Oh,
that's what
out.
ChatGPT said. Or the U-Haulers. Are you all U-hauling to me?
No, I feel like there is one thing we could kind of clear up for the listeners, though, is because you did make a comment about how I broke your arm. And I don't know if you went into detail, and I don't know if that's even relevant or if anybody cares.
No, I started to say, I'm sure I'll tell that story someday.
Well,
I'll let this be the day. Let's tell the story. How did my arm break in the year of 1985?
Is that when it was?
Mm-hmm. I started kindergarten.
I thought you were in first grade. No, first grade was cat scratch fever.
That was second grade. Yep. Mrs. Bilodeau.
Well, Mrs. Billady probably loved you. She probably thought you were the cutest little girl.
She absolutely loved me.
You were super cute. in
Especially
second
when I
grade.
came in with a bandage wrapped all around my head.
Fast forward to 1991 when we all got in the car accident.
Oh,
That's what
right.
every single person went to. I think we had a freaking pep rally. And every single person shows up like you did. Acid tracing all over their goddamn faces.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so you broke, or my arm broke in 1985. How did it happen? What's your recollection of how that occurred?
I recall being in like the living room, and I don't know what if I was just being a really good big sister and we were playing. I don't know. No, I honestly remember when I was over at my friend Sarah's house, her brother would always like put me on his feet, and then so he'd be laying on the ground, put me on his feet, and then he'd rocket me in the air, and I would like fly, and then I would land on my feet. But I was a gymnast, so I
That's
do.
true.
Now it's all coming back to me.
And
Obviously,
how old were you when this was happening?
obviously I could stick it. When what was happening? Getting flown in the air?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, probably when I first started hanging out with Sarah. 5.
Okay.
To how old was I when I broke your arm? Accidentally, allegedly.
You would have been 11.
No, it's not
10?
allegedly. It's legend.
So you admitting you broke my arm?
Absolutely. Do you think I'm pleading not guilty?
I thought you were. I thought you were trying to say that I did it.
Oh. Well, I mean, oh, you're right.
Oh, you're blaming me because I didn't stick it.
Yeah, I would have stuck it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think that's no.
I mean, I did it 1,000 times and it never happened to me. But that's okay. No, accidents happen. You know, one in a
Who
million
cried
times.
more when it happened?
Oh God, me. I was so afraid of getting in trouble.
Getting in trouble, I know.
Oh my God. But you know,
My arm was like dangling and you're the one bawling.
I know. I was so afraid of like, because
we would have gotten in trouble.
Well,
we did get in trouble.
it's funny. All the volleyball players that I used to coach, I always think of things in the shower. So
Me
it
too.
kind of
That's-
sounds weird.
You're meditating.
Okay. So actually, I think it was today. I
Yeah.
was thinking about why was it that whenever, like, and I was thinking about being the middle child. So am I always like trying to like clean up messes or trying to like, you know, control the environment, I think, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
And then I spun off to thinking like whenever, if we were playing or whatever, if you guys got hurt, like I had to, you know, make sure like it was controlled, like don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, or just cry enough so mom and dad, you know, don't hear you. And I don't know if it was just because it would, I think the reaction would be like, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, what now? You know,
Yes.
something along those lines. And it would be,
Yes.
it would almost be like,
And
it would almost be the, I don't know. Not that anybody would get any, I don't know.
But so yes, that happened in our household where if we got hurt, we got yelled at for it, sort of. And
Yeah.
and so when I look at it now from like that perspective as a parent, I can see the anxiety in that moment for a mom. Like
Oh, yeah.
kids running around crazy, one more thing happening.
Oh, absolutely.
One more person getting hurt, and that anger being that response to
Yeah.
anxiety.
And who knows if dad, you know, God, if you were in kindergarten, how old was,
1.
right, and who knows
Right,
if
and dad was bowling.
working or bowling.
No, he was
or-
bowling
right.
because the running thing is that he had 5 strikes in a row and got called away
Oh,
because
okay.
I broke my arm. You broke my arm.
I did break your arm.
Yep. And there's like reels about it as like if you grew up in the 80s, like I've seen other people talking about getting yelled at when you know, from a stressed out mom, like
Oh, yeah.
like that. So
And
it wasn't exclusive to us. It was sort of
And I can say
how
that-
we were parented as a generation.
and the one time that I pointed out to you that, you know, geez, you sound a little like mom.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, when you said that to me.
Uh-huh.
So you said that to me when I
And
was...
and it wasn't like, it was just that quick, you know, reactive.
I was very reactive
you know,
to
kind
my
of like-
children. Yes. And
Yeah.
this is, yeah, and I I received a text message recently because I mentioned that in one of the episodes, the one with Yoga Kayla, about I wish my kids had been parented with like a different
same.
mom, right?
Same.
So like
Same.
I was very reactive versus like, and I just like to anything, any noise, any happy, mad, you know, sad. And I guess like that's why I can understand why mom would be mad when we got hurt. Like I can look and see that, right?
Right. And probably because Joel and I did not play very, very nicely or
no, nor did you
easily
treat
or
us nicely.
No, gosh,
or
no.
Easily. Right.
Well, shit rolls downhill, Gert.
Absolutely. I say that all of the time.
You little assassin.
A trained little assassin you guys were.
You got some assassinism in you.
But yeah, when you said that to me, I was reacting to my kids about something, and you're like, oh my God, you sound just like mom. And that's when I finally reached out and got a counselor. So yeah, that's sort of when I started recognizing that anxiety was running my life, and that reaction, that was anxiety.
Yeah, I think.
And also like sort of understanding that my nervous system was hijacked, and I was operating from that fight or flight.
Oh God, talk about survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, like you said, children were parented by two different versions of me.
Oh yeah.
Or, you know, several different versions of me.
Yeah. My kids are only 3 minutes apart, and they're still parented by different versions of me. You know. Once you do the best you can until
once you know better, do better.
Yeah, once you know better, do better.
My throat is on fire right now.
I know. What can I do for you?
Nothing. It's a chakra.
Oh, it is your throat chakra going off.
I thought once it's gone, it's gone.
No, you clearing that shit all the time.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were. Oh.
No. That ebbs and flows too. Even if it could even throughout the day.
Oh.
If you're like struggling to have a difficult conversation with somebody, your throat chakra can flare up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's why I keep going to meditation every week, so I can keep clearing that. I actually meditate at home to clear all my chakras.
Yeah, that's an area I would like to explore further.
The chakras?
Just all of, how I am.
And energy work. I'm diving deep into energy work right now, and it's fucking exhausting. I'm so tired. Like, yesterday was exhausting.
Oh, right.
I did. This is my day yesterday. Yoga in the morning. I did a tuning fork session, like with the drums, like a one-on-one. And then I had counseling.
Damn.
And then later on in the night, I went to a guided meditation.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
it was intense.
That is intense.
That's why I had that huge emotional breakdown I told you about. Huge. It was good though. It was therapeutic. I enjoyed it. A little bit, not while it was happening, but it was fun, ultimately. So let's talk about you.
And my process.
Your journey.
My journey.
Do you agree with Tara that you dislike that language?
I was thinking about that. I feel like, I don't know.
You don't mind it, or just indifferent to it?
I feel like, and I feel like I say it a lot in kind of like the let them theory, like, it is their journey.
Oh yeah, I love that.
So I feel like, it does resonate.
Yeah.
In terms of that, because learning boundary setting has been a long-term goal of mine.
Yeah, how's that working out?
It's actually getting, it's getting better.
Good. So when we met, when we recorded the last time, you got sick afterwards. Do you remember that?
Yes, after
So-
that I did get sick.
And we had talked then about like that your body releasing some shit or whatever. Do you think are you getting sick already because you're gonna release some shit after recording tonight? Or is it
I don't
just-
think I'm in the same headspace that I was last time. Like, I feel like I'm going to release a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like
it's just
I mean-
a normal conversation.
I released a whole bunch of that shit.
Yeah.
So I've always said that I have a physical response to stress. So, and I attribute
It's
that.
not just you.
Right,
Oh.
no, but I can, that's,
Yeah.
you know, however I've been able to articulate that. And that
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean I could say that I recognize that I always get like sick after.
Gotcha.
You know, it's, you know, kind of ebbs and flows, stressful moment.
Yeah.
And it's not always a traumatic, traumatic time. It's just stress.
Yeah.
But it's more like you had said just a minute ago about the throat chakra,
Yeah.
where I thought, you know, once out, it's out. But it's more like once, you know, if you, what'd you say, if you like get nervous or something for
Yeah.
public speaking?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Right. But anytime I would get stressed or get like, you know, I could always feel it in my throat and I could
Oh,
always
yeah,
feel it
yeah.
in my gut.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I felt.
Yes.
This is what I said on the drive down to Albany that night. That's where I could feel it the
Oh.
most. So it's just,
Gotcha.
so though, you know, the PTSD, you know, kind of not the reliving or,
Yeah.
but that,
yeah.
you know, stress trigger can automatically take you back to that, you know,
Right. Right.
that moment.
Did you feel that? Were you feeling that in your body when we recorded talking about it? I think I might have asked you in the
That time,
when we were recording.
did I feel my throat chakra?
Yeah, in your
I believe so.
in your solar
Oh,
plexus.
no. Like, was I feeling like stressed, anxious?
Were you feeling that energy in those two spots? And you're pointing to your solar plexus in
I
your
don't.
throat.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Oh, okay.
If you would like a, you know, assessment of where I'm at tonight, I can tell you.
Yeah, where are you at tonight? Do you feel it in your solar plexus?
I don't, but I will recognize. So as we talked about, so is it like I'm sensitive to inhalants? I'm also outdoors, which you also know
Oh, and
that
you
I
mowed
have.
the lawn
I mowed the
today.
lawn, and I did two
You
rounds
did
of
2
mowing
rounds.
the lawn.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think I've taken any allergy medicine this week.
Right.
And we were camping all weekend.
So your gut health is shit.
My gut health is shit.
Right. So it's a perfect storm to be
It's a perfect storm.
feeling some post nasally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? Was it just last weekend that we were at camp?
Yeah.
And I had a, you know, pretty eventful weekend.
We
so
did have a
I'm
pretty eventful weekend.
probably got a lot of,
Processing a lot of, releasing a lot.
yeah. So,
My throat chakra's been on fire lately too.
yeah. Yeah.
Would you be surprised to learn that my heart chakra is closed?
I don't understand what that means. Closed, open.
I mean, I'm sure you can understand that it's not necessarily a good thing that it's closed, right?
So who determines that?
That is what the results from a tuning fork session were.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I can't explain it any further than that.
No, and that's
just,
okay.
That's just what I was told.
So your
I mean,
heart-
we could talk about why I think my heart chakra is closed, but maybe that's off mics.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
I was just wondering if you were surprised to learn that.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
No. What do you think mine would say?
I'd be curious to know if it would say the same.
So you can just do a tuning fork assessment?
No, it's just like like going for a massage. You just lay there on the table and there's a mask over my eyes and she goes up and down the body with the tuning forks and then she does something at each chakra, I think is my understanding, and then she can tell if they're open or closed. No, there's no I know where you're going with this. There's no chakra in the vagina.
The Gertlings don't know if I'm laughing right now or not.
You are laughing.
The little Gertlings out there.
Listen, if that goes
Ew,
out
it
with
sounds like a
Gertlings,
cult.
I hope you guys are a cult of getting fucking healthy. Please, Jesus Christ, come join this cult. Go for a walk every morning and eat some fucking vegetables. That's my cult.
Run away.
Anyways, how do we move on past vagina chakras?
Okay, so no chakras in the vagina. So
I mean,
based on,
there's a root chakra. I guess you
right.
could say that.
We don't need to talk
This
about
is
that.
the base of the spine, though.
So just based on the vibration, the tuning fork person
Can determine whether or not
that is
the chakra is
fascinating,
open
yeah.
or closed. And
Yeah.
so that's.
So the tuning forks were part of the meditation that I went to that night, right?
I don't know. She wasn't using tuning forks then. She was using sound bowls then.
Oh,
But
so the tuning forks are like the prongs.
yes.
Oh, okay.
So last night's guided meditation at the studio, though, she did use tuning forks, and she went around to each person and did a little tuning fork next to each person. And then she did the drum too, which was fucking amazing. You have got to go experience the drum. You would love the drum.
I would.
You need that
I know. Next
deep
gen.
tissue vibration.
I need deep,
And then-
lots of deep tissue. So back to journey.
You found your boyfriend dead. How do you
Oh,
move on
no.
from that? Sorry,
Oh.
was that too brutal and
No,
abrupt?
that's fine. That's fine. That's out. I mean, that's kind of really what I said.
I know.
I was telling my boss, and I was like, yeah. So the place where I found my boyfriend dead was literally like the next block
Right.
over. You know, and it was
Just like
which is
everyday conversation. Like it's no
which
big
is
deal.
fabulous, right? I
And
mean,
and I say that too, like, oh yeah, like the time my sister found her boyfriend dead, and then the
Yeah.
people are like, what?
I
What?
usually am. I don't know if it's being extra, but I'm like, yeah. I found my boyfriend dead on his living room floor. I just want to say enough to be like,
Yeah.
boom.
And do you
Headline.
also add the cause, like the diabetes part,
If if people,
if it's warranted
yeah,
or
but
whatever?
usually, that takes. No, usually, yeah. I mean, if it's somebody that I know well, or we get talking, or if it's a conversation that would elicit me to share that, because lots of times I do get kind of advocacy about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So you found your boyfriend dead.
So I found my boyfriend dead.
How do you move on from that? Where do you go from there? How does that not?
So I tried therapy at that time. I was a little ambivalent. I wasn't open to the process. I didn't really understand it. We talked about, they wanted to go back to kind of my childhood stuff.
Yeah.
I also tried medicine at that time. One was for the panic attacks, and one was kind of just a general, whatever.
General antidepressant.
No, anti-anxiety.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've never really felt that I've had depression.
No.
No. Nope.
And you and I have talked about this. I don't know if that went out on the podcast, but you never experienced suicidal ideations either.
Never once.
I find that odd.
Yeah?
Well, considering how much it lived in my brain for so long, and we're very similar humans.
Yeah, no, never. Even on my darkest.
Aside from you have always had confidence, and I never have.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it.
Yeah, even on my most stressful, darkest, Yeah. And I'm talking like not even like Doug stuff, like, single mom, kids stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember one time we were hiking, and I feel like
Who's
I
we?
was,
You and I?
and I think maybe a couple other family members were there.
Uh-huh.
Some other little Gertlings were there. But I feel like I was hiking up the mountain, and I was just randomly like saying hi to people or carrying on conversations or whatever, and you're just like, you're so social. Like,
Yeah.
you're definitely the most social one out of all.
100%.
Joel's very social.
And you know why that Um, I started hiking a lot, I guess during the pandemic by myself, and I found myself when I would cross somebody on trail grabbing my phone and looking at my phone so that there wasn't conversation between us. Like, and it wasn't, it was like an instinctual thing to do. It wasn't necessarily like it was a conscious thought, but after doing it a few times, I'm like, why am I doing this?
Or
and
maybe
so
it was-
I challenged myself and I stopped and I'm like, let me be a little bit more like Kim and say hello to people. And I use your line, am I almost there yet? Because that's what you would say to the people.
I'm kind of an asshole.
Yeah, you definitely are the most social, I would say. I mean, the one above you is pretty social himself, but
True.
I
Yeah,
would
so-
100% say that I'm the least social and that have had
Agreed.
struggled the most with being
Agreed.
in public socially.
Yeah.
And you know, when I knew I was healing and that things were getting better for me with my social anxiety was when I didn't have to go with you to a funeral. I could meet you there, or a wake. I could meet you at the wake.
Wow. Right.
And you know what I mean?
Otherwise, you just wouldn't go.
We would just always go together.
Right.
But you still do you
Introductions.
do your thing when if you're there before me, you come wait in line with me and you go through the line with me to introduce
Kinda
me
like-
to the people that don't remember me, basically. Is
Yeah, these are my
essentially-
little Kimlings. Yeah, I was trying to think of like when I recall your social anxiety.
I think it must have been somewhere very early on
Yeah.
where you just sort of took over for me, probably in the room, just because you knew I was
True.
scared to go or, you know, whatever. I'm sure I clung to you like,
True. But in high school, do you think you had social anxiety?
oh,
I mean,
100%, yeah.
that was dumb.
Yeah,
Like at what grade do you
all
think?
of them.
All of them. So this episode is to recap my journey.
So, let me start by saying this.
Or preface.
This episode can be whatever you
Okay.
want it to be.
Okay.
If you don't want to talk about your journey, we don't have to talk about your journey. You got nothing really to say about it. Do you want to just say how you're doing now?
Yeah.
How are you doing since
You found your boyfriend dead.
How are you doing since
No, I think I
No.
want. Yeah.
Listen.
Yes.
How are you doing since telling essentially whoever listens to this podcast that you found your boyfriend dead? How have you been doing the last few months with that sort of next step in healing?
What a great question,
Oh, thanks.
Kathleen. So, I think it's empowering to be able to tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
And like we just joked about, yeah, hey, I found my boyfriend dead. But even in that, it's my story, and for me to just be able to rattle.
You
it
get
off.
to use whatever language
Yeah.
around it that you want.
And no, I've definitely been freed. I really liked what Tara had said about, you know, it's got to go somewhere. Like it was in there.
Yeah.
Wasn't really going anywhere. Nor was I proactively or actively or.
When do you think you became aware that there was something that needed to go somewhere? Because, so let's back up to the year that I was in school. So that would have been 2021. I think, I know, Patreon content right now, a little domestic happening. We were having a little fire here. I think it was like a Sunday afternoon, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
and you were puttering like crazy, and I thought I was recognizing that as like anxious energy or whatever. And during all this time, I was learning about trauma being stored in the body. And so then when you're learning about this stuff, you can't help but like think of the people in your life that you know have experienced, because as I've talked about, I don't have a whole lot of big T trauma.
Right.
And not that it's only big T trauma that's stored, because it's absolutely not. There's that micro shit is in there.
Yep.
Absolutely. But I was, a lot of times I would think about you and what kind of trauma could be stored in your body or whatever. And at that time, you would probably agree that you were not as healthy as you are today.
Oh gosh, no.
And
nope.
So
and healthy in ways all around.
All around,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking mentally, I'm physically, right. Like all of it.
Yeah. Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Health. Yeah.
So, I started having a conversation with you and introducing this stuff to you, and you're like, I don't have any trauma. Like, and I said, well, what about, the Doug stuff? And you were like, no, I've worked through that. I'm fine. So what's your hindsight 2020 on that? Do you remember that conversation?
I do. And at that time, I can say that I felt like I did, like,
yeah,
in a headspace, and that's why I'm recognizing that it's stored in there.
Yeah.
Because I could talk about it. I could freely, tell my story without having those reactions or those chakras firing off.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, like it's gone. I was no longer, having issues around the anniversary.
Yeah.
I was much.
You could go through a CPR recert.
I could go through a CPR recert.
Right.
I went through challenging experiences at work, so I've been through it. But then I didn't realize till that time that my throat chakra came out, and like how much it was stored inside.
Yeah.
So maybe, it's still in the body, and it's probably lots of it still is in there. But I feel like even like that too ebbs and flows. Remember I used to have terrible neck pain? And then it was on this side, and that's all. So I feel like it's maybe like working itself out.
Yeah,
here,
the body keeps the score.
The body definitely
Body's
keeps
always
the score.
talking. Your mental mess will show up in the body. I 1000% believe that.
Yeah, so back to what you say is my puttering, but you also not used to excuse it, but it's like this high functioning anxiety or whatever. And Reagan actually asks lately, what's her question about why? Like, I just have this need that I have to feel productive. Like, I can't, like, and I think you and I talked about it.
You can't rest.
No, well, and also not my nervous, like, my whole life, it was, remember, like, on a Saturday morning, we were upstairs sleeping, and if you heard the vacuum, it was like, oh, fuck. So it was always like, or, 2 minutes before, your parents would come home, you're like,
rushing to make sure everything's right.
You had to be
right.
like,
right. Because you couldn't be caught laying around.
Right.
Well, they had to go to work and earn money to put food on the table for us. God forbid if you lay on the couch.
Yeah, like I never lay on the couch. Like I mean, I will lay on my bed.
So some of my healing work has been, I don't know that I ever really struggled with laying on the couch post. I did struggle with depression, so I laying on my couch was the thing.
Right.
That was also my bed when I lived with you.
True.
So,
True.
I was in bed most of the time. So, but I do, like during the winter time, like last winter, I really like to hibernate. I really love to just be home and not do anything.
That's what Reagan and I were just talking about. She's
Yeah.
like, really, she wants to embrace that this year.
Yeah.
And she's really like
Yeah.
looking forward to it. And
Yeah.
I was saying, like, it's amazing how, like, Mother Nature,
It-
like, actually
right.
prepares you.
100%.
It's even, we said, like,
Well-
even though Mom did say that, didn't she say something about it getting dark earlier about
Yeah,
volleyball?
she did.
And
She did.
but we'd commented that it was getting dark during volleyball.
we did.
And then the nights obviously are getting colder.
Yes.
The mornings are
Yes.
getting colder.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
like, naturally here, Mother Nature,
Right.
transition,
So-
get ready for school.
Correct.
And then, yes.
Here's my deeper take on it is when we live outside of that natural rhythm
Yes.
of life. Because if we were living in the world 1,000 years ago, we too would automatically slow down. We would eat differently. We would sleep differently. We would do so many things differently.
Yeah.
But because we invented light bulbs and we invented this 9 to 5, but let's do overtime and let's have all these other shifts and all of that. Like,
yeah, but how about travel volleyball going from December till May, like right when we're supposed to be relaxed, settling down.
Exactly.
Right when we're supposed to be settling down for a long winter's nap, we're amped
not.
up.
Right.
Yeah, which is great for my.
Right. There were so many pros and cons.
Yeah,
to that
no, even for like my, my nervous system, my anxiety, how I cope. The more I had planned on my schedule, the more I could go volleyball.
Right. Go. Yeah, because God forbid you sit with your thoughts.
Oh yeah, no.
You sit with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's gross. So let's organize. Let's keep going.
And I would always have to have something on the background. There was never a time that I would ever just be.
Yeah.
And it's also like this whole concept of, self-care or, like back when I was raising my kids, like, number one, and self-care doesn't have to be, a monetary value.
Yeah, 100%.
Typically, but I would, number one, probably feel guilty for self-care, and I think Sarah touched on that a little bit, but it's like, who has time? I can remember coming home from a Tuesday night playing volleyball.
Yeah.
I would get home at 11 11 p.m. You think I took a shower before I went to bed? I could have fucking cared less about whatever. Like, plus one, you are raising your kids, being a single mom. Like, again, who has time for self-care?
Right.
And it wasn't really a topic that anybody shared. And I feel like now, as you have talked about community and connection, like we weren't normalizing those feelings.
Right.
Like everybody's silo.
Yeah.
Like our generation, like my friends, you know how close I am with my friends from high school still to this day, but like we never would share anything, the bad things. It's always like we would, and it's not like we would gloat about the good things. It's almost like,
but that's all you,
great, not even everybody's, great. Like,
but you only talked about the highlight reel,
surface level, and then we would share, a little bit of,
a little bit of the deeper stuff. But like,
and it's like, cause you don't want to bog anybody down, you don't want to, But and, no, you just don't. You just go. You just go through it. You just deal with it. So
there's so much value in connection and conversation and truly like connecting with another human being about everything, like not just the good stuff, but like,
and to have not even have your feelings validated,
right? But it is a little bit of it,
just like it's not just me being
right. I have gotten a lot of comments and messages from people that is what they're getting from this, and that was always what I wanted. So I'm glad that I'm achieving that goal and just normalizing these conversations that parenthood fucking sucks in this day and age, in this world. Trying to be, even just being a human being in the world right now sucks, and it's really difficult, and just having open conversations about that.
Yeah.
And like, how are we all coping without poisoning ourselves, without drinking in a way, you know what I mean? Like, I know we partake in some THC events, but...
And I think the amount of alcohol that I do not drink has drastically improved
Right.
everything. And I
Well,
think
you had
that
a
was just a
you had a
natural,
full bottle of vodka on Sunday.
huh?
You had a full bottle of vodka left on
I
Sunday
know, I
after
didn't
Collier
even bring
weekend.
it out. It's still
Right.
still in the cabinet.
Right.
I'm drinking the nice orange flavored seltzer I bought
I know.
to go with it.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's huge.
Yeah.
Especially like, you and I had talked, like, even, I had a couple of beers that I really like didn't like need or want, but I was just like, what else?
Right.
I'm
It
not
just
at the, not even that it's not even the, it's not like I fear like people, saying, oh, come on, or people are peer pressuring me or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean? It's just
Well, that was me at the graduation party.
Yeah.
And that's why I participated. But I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
participate at all at Collier weekend, and I didn't feel any different. Like if I was okay with it. And yeah, I had to feel that shit from everybody.
You did?
Well, not everybody, but there are 2 people
Oh.
in our family that give me shit about it. Oh, I forgot you're boring now. Why? I'm here playing beer pong the same as you. How am I being boring? And I'm running the fucking table. I'm not being
True.
boring.
So what were you going to say about self-care?
Oh, so my take on self-care, and this is the conversation that's been rattling in my brain today, is so I started to write about connection as being maybe I don't need to write about it now. Maybe just talking to you about it will be the podcast episode. Connection being like my next tool, like a tool that has worked for me. And I started writing like, it's really hard to decide which tool is more important or is needed the most, and connection is a huge human need.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I went to Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. When
good segue.
you were talking about this recently?
No, this is exactly when I was kind of mentally prepping for this next episode, that kind of you can frame my life off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
So you can frame my healing off of this as well. So back in 2019, when I had an experience with 4 winds, there was paperwork that was brought home, and on there was the hierarchy of human needs, and physical touch, physical connection was on there, and
they were way above, on top of the triangle, right?
Yeah, it was third, right? Like,
because you start at the bottom.
So at the bottom, yes, is like your basic survival needs, food,
safety,
shelter, water, like that stuff, right?
Yep.
And then next, I forget exactly, but I feel like
this is exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Perfect. So as I was writing this, and I'm looking at this tool of connection, and then I'm looking at this hierarchy, and I was like, well, if you look at nutrition, that's on the hierarchy too. And then I was like, am I just like, all of these tools are ways to have my needs met on this hierarchy of human needs?
Is that a question you're asking?
No, this is the conclusion I've come to right now, this week, today, about what I'm.
Nutrition?
Food is in the red.
Oh, right. So rephrase that then. Yes.
Me using nutrition as a tool for healing.
Yep.
I'm getting back to my basic human need.
Right.
So do I need those Doritos, or do I need that carrot? So my tool of nutrition, stop eating shit, that's going back to a very human basic need, right? And then in today's conversation in my brain. It's about connection. That's the next tool that I'm writing about, is connection.
And where do you, so family and social
Yes,
ability?
social
Okay.
needs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that falls under social needs.
Right. So my
And then spiritual needs are on there as well?
Yeah. Well, and, sense of connection. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So my interpretation of, and how I say it, it goes back to like, maybe let's say my parenting journey, right? So, you know, I had to spend so much time worrying about the physiological needs of my children, right? Shelter, clothing, you know, sleep.
You're only living in that bottom tier,
exactly.
right?
Right.
That you're only.
But you say food as nutrition, where, you know, back in our version of food would be like whatever the hell we can
And I'm
put.
not
Okay.
Right. So yeah, back there was actually buying food. That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
And now I'm reversing it and saying,
you're able to
don't just buy yourself food. Pay attention to what you're actually feeding yourself.
Yes.
Right. But yes, all of it combined.
Yeah. So then obviously like some, you know, so now you're saying
having a safe home.
You feel your physiological needs are currently like met. Your safety and security needs are met. You have, you know, your health is.
What I'm saying is getting healthy has been the result of meeting my needs and going through that pyramid.
Yes. And the self-actualization part, like
where I'm living now.
Yeah.
Yep. So I had to get through this red. I had to make sure my basic safety needs, and that's part of being in the housing, the housing where I am. I know that I have a house that I can afford each month. I know that I have money for food to feed my kids. I'm not living in that survival mode, so I can move up to that next tier. You know, and that's part of it in there too, safety and security.
Yeah.
And then
and family and social ability.
Right. And in my healing, I have strengthened connections. I have let go of connections that were toxic and not right for me. And that's all. So it's all going back to those basic human needs. What do I need as a human being versus what am I doing for everybody else around me?
And I'm seeing where you're saying like your needs are love and belonging. I'm seeing where you tie that in right now. And you know that my thing has always, like, I've always thrived on a sense of connection.
Yes. And I'm not just saying, we're not just saying this is me. This is a basic human. All of us need this.
And that's why,
every single one of us need this.
Most of the people that I've worked with are always functioning in the red. You know
right.
what I mean? So So when you go to especially when you're talking about long-term goals, like when you go to think about, like, people usually go up to like, oh, I want, you know, these up in the self-actualization part.
Yeah.
Like you can't jump.
You can't
go
go
from
there
the red
if you
to the
can't
self-actualization without, you know, meeting these things. And sometimes like the love and belonging, like even like that's why we always talk about social supports and social connections.
Yeah, and they bleed together.
Exactly.
And that's why I said, like, I can't pinpoint one tool that I need more than the other to stay healthy. For me now, it's getting them all. But yeah, if you're in that survival mode, you can't think about those long-term goals. Like you trying to find a way to feed your kid tomorrow. Right.
And I think that was, obviously I've said that too, that was definitely part of my healing journey, you know, going back to school. It was like self-therapy. I did do a lot of self-therapy. Yes. And I had the like one-on-one individual mentor and you know, but so
you were getting counseling in some respect there.
A lot of you know, self-help. You know, but all of the topics that you have to write an essay on and psych, you know, I had firsthand experience about.
Right.
So what was I going to say? Oh, so I think that was part of like, and you know, once you sometimes the path is once you get credentialed, then you can then, you know, move up in those you know, areas, which to me was one of my goals, which was part of my self-actualization plan.
Right. And how good was it for your mental health to just be learning
Amazing.
again and just like
Amazing. I love
just
learning.
what that does for your brain? I know.
Yeah, it's
Me
and
too.
it's very just like
Like I want to go back to school just to learn, not
Yeah.
to obtain any sort of specific degree
Yeah.
for any sort of specific career, just because I want to learn.
yeah. I think another thing that I also realized was the whole like intrinsic value versus
Extrinsic?
what's the other whatever? I don't know. But like that's where like learning and
Yeah.
kind of being able to focus on my career now, like that's really like again in that upper triangle for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your self-care when you were raising your children?
I didn't have any when well, I guess still raising them.
Right. Well, right.
So if we're talking like before 12, before
Yeah.
the pandemic, before the big shift in my life, I guess.
Right, they were 12. Wow.
I know there were 12 at the start
Yeah.
of the pandemic. Isn't that insane to think
It's
about?
crazy. Like Reagan was
Right.
in college and Ryan was living in Saratoga.
Right.
I know.
I didn't really have any outside of like
Like we used to play softball.
I was just gonna say, outside of anything, like we used to have our wine and fire nights.
Yeah.
And get drunk and burn everything out of the basement.
Yeah.
Like,
Woo.
outside of that, like,
Yeah. So a lot of things.
I mean, honestly, like,
a lot of our coping skills, I guess, to
I relationshiped.
our relationship.
No, I relationshiped. I threw myself into relationships.
Oh. I throw myself into jobs or learning or.
Yeah. But no, I didn't really have any like self-care. I remember.
But you throw yourself into franchise as much as I do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think franchise was one of the things that kept me here. That I enjoyed. That it was something to look forward to.
Kept you here on this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And I mean, you went to every single one
Gave
of
me a-
Megan's games, and
Yeah, it gave me a purpose.
yeah, no, I think purpose is huge.
Yeah. I remember when I first reached out to that friend when I started medication to tell her that I was having suicidal thoughts. And she told me to reach out to her every day until I felt comfortable or whatever. And she also told me to do something for myself. And I was like, huh? The fuck?
Like, what do you mean?
Exactly.
Like, go get a pedicure?
That's it. Oh my God, that's exactly what I went and did.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what I went to.
I would do like though, yeah.
What do you go do for yourself?
Right.
Now I go paddleboarding, I go for a walk, I go,
Yeah.
I have a lot of things that I go do for myself. Play disc golf.
Yeah.
But then I had no clue. It's so funny that you said exactly what I went and did. I went and got a pedicure by myself. That was like, really difficult to go do something like that by myself.
Really?
Back
See?
then.
Oh. Well, because you're maybe not the girly girl like me.
Well, not even that. It was my social anxiety. Because I'm not the girly girl, I didn't know what you had to do when you walked
Well, that's
into
what
a
I'm
nail
saying,
salon.
right.
Yeah.
See?
Yes.
So that anxiety was me going into meditation that night,
Yes.
thinking I was going to be doing yoga in the hammock. Same thing. I was
Yes.
like, whoa.
No,
But once you know what to do,
Right.
like, all right,
Then
you
it's gone.
go,
Right.
boom, boom, boom.
Right.
When do I tip? How do I tip?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I know, and I'm very much like that. So, like, even with volleyball, I think the whole connection thing, and like back when I
Yes.
used to play on Tuesday nights with Trisha.
Again,
It
it
just
goes
does
back to
something,
that
like-
sense of community.
And how many
even-
times do we say, how many people have come there on Tuesday night? I told Lisa to her kid, Logan, when he came.
Yes. Oh my God. He was
I
so
heard
good.
him say something about, like,
I need
oh,
volleyball. Oh yeah.
in my life.
You
or
told me
having
that.
volleyball in my life. Something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I hear you.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah. And that's why I like this transition
But I think
for
Tara
us.
said that too about finding stuff that bring you joy.
Yes, 100%. That's one of the
Yeah.
conversations we've been talking about is that
And you know what? When you're raising your kids,
you
again,
lose
not
that.
much brings
Yeah.
you. Not to even. I mean, everything everything brings you joy, but God, it's rough.
It is rough. And when I've worked with people, like, you know, I've asked that question, what brings you joy? And a lot of times people can't answer anything outside of their children.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when my children do this, and I love seeing my kids do that. I love it when, and it always includes their, husbands or their whatever. And like, no, but what just brings you joy?
Right.
Just you. What? And people don't know. And I didn't know.
I don't think I know.
Right. So, well, this is where this transition from our club going from it, there was a time and a point in our life when it did bring us joy.
Like volleyball does bring me joy.
Yeah, it did.
I lost it.
And it did bring us joy to bring it to our community and provide a space for kids to come play. But you're right, there was a point where it became soul sucking.
Absolutely.
Like, parents are not easy to work with. And so
I don't feel about that way. I love parents.
it's a crock of shit. What does self-care look like for you now?
I feel like self-care, to me, I try to get into some really good self-care routines, like at night with like showering, washing my face, brushing my teeth, putting on my cream. Sometimes I really, really do enjoy it, but it's nothing that I stick with.
There's nothing like, doesn't have to be anything like fancy. Part of it is just sticking to that routine.
True.
Right?
True. That's a good point. I mean,
and that also is like signaling your body, like,
True.
this is what we're doing. This is time to sleep.
Yep,
like,
that's a good
because there are a
idea.
lot of people that struggle with the ability to go to sleep.
Yes.
So I am big on a nighttime routine.
Yes. Yeah, so like we know that sticking to it
Yeah.
is
And you
an
know what
issue.
else the other part of it too is the negative self-talk we have around it when we
Right.
don't stick to it.
True.
Is that, going back to that whole shaming and blaming from our earlier conversation.
Right.
We very often are shaming and blaming ourselves, like,
And I spend more time thinking about my intentions of getting into a routine to walk in the morning. I still really, 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 really want to
yeah.
and need to, but I always fall back on like, oh, this is transitioning, but it's like something's always going to be happening in my life. That's the thing. So, and that's like,
And
you
that's the part of establishing routines, so that no
Right.
matter what's happening in your life, you can always come back to yourself. You can always come back to that
Yep.
routine.
yeah. So obviously there's, something's a little off still, and
In your what? And how you feel? Mentally, physically?
you remember that circle thing you were talking about?
The circle of life, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Want me to explain that?
Yeah.
To the listeners. So in the circle of life, there's 12 different areas of your life, and when you look at it, like, one of them is your home environment, and you put a dot in that pie of the chart. If you dislike your home environment, like there's something off about your home environment, like, you put it closer to the circle. But if you love your home environment, everything's great, you'd move that dot to the wider edge of the circle. And you go through all of these points, and then you look at what your circle looks like, and you can use it as a starting point if it's where it's lopsided. So you think you're lopsided somewhere in that circle?
So I think I'm lopsided in several areas of the
Oh,
circle.
we usually are.
At this
And a lot of
time.
them sometimes coincide with each other, like,
Right.
there's
So
home
it's-
environment, home cooking, I think, is on there, so those sometimes go together. Social
Yeah.
Something about social life is on there. Joy is on there.
Yep.
Creativity is on there. Finance is on there. Your career's on there. Your education's on there.
So it's also like a time, like I think you had said kind of at some point, or I know, I say it often too, and like about like giving yourself grace because like if, looking back at the last year, like, the whole, so since last July, so it's officially been a year since we found out, like, and again, like we replay each moment at Washington now of what was happening last year at Great Meadow, during this time. So it's like, and to just kind of like, and probably that's a lot of, it's kind of
being in this whole transition and not feeling you can get in any sort of routine.
Exactly,
right?
Because like it was like from July till November, it was like, well, things are just going to change, and my whole workflow with work has been like that.
Are you recognizing now that you were sort of living in absolute survival mode?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I think you were recognizing it at the time.
But so then, even now I'm like, but the walking stuff, I still could get into a routine.
Yeah.
And,
once you know better, do better.
Right. So, but it's like, again, and I think like once I feel like so many things are out of my control, like I just like, I kind of like control what I can control.
Yeah.
Like,
you've always said that.
What? Control what I can
control what you can control. That's been like a coaching philosophy of yours for
how I raised my daughter.
Life.
It's how I raised Reagan.
Yeah.
And it's really the way my brain operates because I cannot, like, I know that I can only function just so long, or else in like a shutdown, I'm going to be in, I'm going to be in bed for 2 days, that kind of thing.
Right.
And it's funny because, if
you've definitely had some benders like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think because I just exhaust.
So wait, can I?
My body.
Can I go back a minute? There was a point, was it just 2 years ago, where Reagan and I were super worried about you. You don't think you were feeling any depressive symptoms then? You were isolating a lot. I do recall that. We were identifying it as isolating. Maybe you were hibernating.
No, I feel like it was probably the spring after I stopped coaching, or before that.
Yes. I think it was the winter. I think it was during the winter. I felt like
right after
we stopped. You stopped coaching. Like you knew it was going to be officially, or was that this?
When I quit in November and couldn't say anything until January.
Right.
And had to hang out with the Fishers all Christmas without all Thanksgiving and.
Right.
Yeah, probably. I was going through something.
Yeah, you're definitely. I mean, I think we both sort of were. That was a big part of our life for so long.
Right.
And to be able to say, this is not working for us. We are not in a point in our lives where this fulfills us right now. Just because of the culture of coaching is so different. And obviously working in a prison, you couldn't tend to every freaking email that comes in as a coach.
Right.
Like it's just so much more demanding,
but
outside of the time you have to spend in the gym.
But my whole, like, that's how my nervous system loved, like, how many, franchise, I literally, it would be the last thing that I would do before I went to bed, and it would be the first thing that I did. But,
I think at that time for you, like, that was that's how you survived the grief, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any time to think about it.
That goes back to what Tara said, is she just threw herself into work.
Yeah.
Pause for 1 second while this guy goes by. A train did not go by one time in the episode with Tara.
Isn't that
crazy?
Heard it.
Or did you hear one?
I heard one, but it could have been my train going.
So what's our next? Where are we going from here?
Where did we leave off?
I don't know.
Oh boy. So you were talking about when you were in Reagan, were worried about me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like that was the first time that I had, and it wasn't the identity crisis, but it's like who am I without volleyball.
Right. In your identity
still-
crisis.
I don't want to call it a crisis.
Okay.
An identity. It was the first time in my life that I could actually figure out who I
you
was.
were.
Reagan was done with
Right.
volleyball. Reagan was done with college.
Yep.
Ryan, is established.
Doing his own thing.
You know what I mean? Then I was
Yeah.
like, wow, like, do I actually get to like choose?
Live
like,
your
maybe?
own life. Live life for you.
I was like,
so was there any depressive symptoms in that transition period for you?
I think yeah, because I didn't have connection at that time.
Yeah.
But I also think it was like the first time I could slow down, and I was okay with it. Like,
So maybe it just needs to be that reframe of it wasn't really depressive moments. It was just hibernation. You were just returning to yourself.
So I didn't classify them as depressive moments. I think you and
Agreed.
Reagan,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
right. So you guys can like look at it differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like a reframe for me in that, I didn't need to be worried about you.
But it was
in
definitely
isolating.
atypical for me.
100% atypical for you.
Yeah.
Not for me.
But it was very typical for me during COVID. Well,
yeah.
obviously.
Right.
But yeah, no, I agree. And I was like, finally, again, okay, that it was like, I don't want to just go do things just for the sake of, because somebody asked me and I feel obligated. So really, it's the first time in my life I could kind of like start to learn how to do that stuff.
Set those boundaries of like saying no.
Right.
And I think that's, that was the part of the conversation in my episode with Kayla about like if it's not like a resounding yes that you want to do that activity, then
and I recall like there's and I can see where you guys think that, but and maybe sometimes it's puttering, but like I remember one time I don't know, we were doing something, maybe the kids wanted me to do something, and I was like, this is like the first Saturday that I've been able to spend in my backyard that I haven't had volleyball or something, and maybe you guys thought I was being a recluse.
Yeah, so I honestly thought we thought you were being a recluse because I think the day that you're talking about was Easter. And you didn't go to Easter with us that year when we all went disc golfing.
I haven't gone to Easter though before.
No, it was unusual that you wouldn't have attended this outing with, who. Yeah, you definitely ghosted the family before. That's not new to us. Yeah.
I felt like maybe it was. I was just like, I just don't.
I feel like there was just some other times, just maybe more going to bed directly at 7 p.m.
No, definitely. Yeah.
But again, like
I was going through a lot of shit at work too.
when the winter after I passed out in Hannaford, I intentionally was like, no, I'm gonna hibernate. Like I pretty much like, I cut off a lot of connections, and I'm like, I'm just doing me for the whole winter, and I did that. I would come home and take naps 2 or 3 days a week, and then do nothing afterwards. Micah has the best room to hibernate and do nothing. She's got blackout curtains, and it's just this like dark, so that's where I would go and hang out and just, but not in a depressive way, and like this is what my body needs, this is what my soul needs right now.
I don't think I mentally knew that was what I think my body was just like, this is
and you
girl,
honored it and you listened.
And part of it was like,
and I think we thought it was depression because we come from depression.
Right.
So that's why we worried if that's what you were experiencing.
No, and I've tried to like think back to any other times, and I feel like I've always been like I think I said like I thought it was like a type A personality.
Yeah. But now you're recognizing that maybe that type A was anxiety.
Maybe that's what the A for. Bill Durkee, is that what the A was for when you were like the A group? He always used to say that. Oh, Mr. Durkee. It meant accelerated Mr. Durkee, not asshole. The A group. You know, it's really working at the jail
Yeah.
and like trauma bonding, but actually like bonding through trauma.
Uh-huh.
Like it's not in a, like it's a positive thing, like to
Uh-huh.
actually go through experiences and
Oh, yeah.
like,
yeah.
like, you know, manage it, cope with it, talk
Mhm.
about it, you know, process it, move on from it.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. Like it was, that's all been a very, I feel like my own little therapeutic. And
Yeah.
we do a whole lot of processing
I was just gonna say those
in this lovely environment.
conversations, and that sense of connection, like you guys are operating within a community,
Right.
right? So
Right.
you
And
do get to
that's-
complete the stress cycle
Uh-huh.
of
And
like what you
how
went
huge,
through,
right?
decompress,
Right.
process, whatever. And that's something we've gotten away from.
Right.
You know, we used to live in tribes where we all sort of had a role and job, and we worked, you know, in a community
Yeah.
again. And we've gotten so disconnected from that to the point where a struggling mom, you know, is so afraid to reach out for help. Like, that became our norm. It literally is a universal thing that we don't talk about. We all just suffer in silence. I almost died in that silence.
True.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of like, right, because of the silence, like, and that normalizing of experiences, like, even just like normalizing, like, you know, kids at various stages, like, oh my God, my kid's a little
They're
asshole.
assholes.
Like,
I know.
So,
And you know,
so you don't think it's like, what am I doing? Because of course that's going to be our first thing. Like, what am I doing? How, you know, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah.
Like,
because
no.
we don't talk about it and your kid's an asshole, we
Right.
think it's something wrong. But no,
Right.
kids are assholes.
Right.
So it's funny. One Collier weekend, I remember this so very distinctly. My kids were probably, I don't know,
Prime asshole age.
prime asshole age. Yes, exactly. And I said out loud, God, why didn't anybody tell me kids were such assholes? And someone in our family said, that's a little secret that we like to pass, or a secret we like to keep between generation to generation, something to that effect. Like, why? Why are we keeping that a secret? Why aren't we talking about how much kids are fucking assholes? Because I guess probably we would stop reproducing, like if we did. If like, and I guess ultimately like we have, because I don't think our children are having children. So maybe that's why they did keep it a secret.
I'm lucky I got a dog.
To keep
I'm
the
lucky I got a
human
grand dog.
to keep the human race going. That's why it was a secret. But
Right.
let's just fucking talk about it. Kids are assholes,
Yeah.
and raising them, especially in this world, freaking sucks.
It's hard. And
Yeah.
there's so much judgment, and you talk about the internal negative, you know, dialogue or overthinking.
And just that mom guilt.
Oh, so much mom
I
guilt.
was talking about that
And
earlier today, is that mom guilt is just so gross.
so I know. So and sometimes you now, well, you've gotten we now naturally, because of that every other weekend thing. Like,
Yeah,
you know, we have some built-in separation.
correct.
And you go through the stage where at first you're kind of like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? Like I was, you know, I remember devastated the first weekend that Ryan had to go away, or the first overnight.
Yeah.
You know, and then you know, finally somehow you get to a stage where you're like, all right, you know what, it's all right. Like,
Jesus, is it your weekend to go to your
Exactly.
parents' house?
Yeah.
And then you feel guilty for that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, and then you feel guilty for needing that time and craving that time. And then just also appreciating the fact that you are in a situation where you get a little bit of both, right?
yeah. And then,
Right.
you know,
I think.
being able to maximize, like, you know, with hopefully, like you said, scheduling, you're
Mhm.
still available, or not filling it with negative coping, maladaptive coping skills.
2 big bottles of Relax.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember the nights I didn't have my kids and you didn't have your kids?
You would do it with me?
Yeah. Yeah. Our wine nights?
I thought you meant like when I was in school and my
Oh,
bottles of
you
Relax.
definitely only got through school because of Relax. You were relaxed in order
I was so
to
relaxed.
educate yourself.
It relaxed my brain cells.
I mean, I'm not any different. Just wasn't alcohol.
Yeah. But I think even with that, it slowed me down enough.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think
To be able to like forget about the laundry and forget about the dishes, to be able to focus on school, you think?
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about the
Oh, well, yeah, that was that for me, but I thought
Yeah.
we were talking about wine for you.
Oh, back then, yeah, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
transition of
Oh, you're talking about the transition from wine to weed? Yeah. How's that going for you?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're talking to me.
You're such a fucking asshole.
Oh, is this thing on? Just kidding. You know, I don't even know if the alcohol piece was very intentional or if it was just
something that
again, just
happened.
part of like, I feel like I naturally just had a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's what
I'm
I said too,
still
like,
in transition.
The time.
But I recognize now, looking back at
Yeah.
what was it, like it's not serving me.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
still, because I was very restrictive with alcohol only because I had this language that I would tell myself, like I used to like have rules. I couldn't drink like vodka at home by myself. And it wasn't because I thought maybe I had a problem.
Maybe you knew that there was
Right.
potential
Yeah.
for there to be a problem. I don't know
And what
where
was
you
the
would have
other-
gotten that idea from.
Why?
That
Is
there was,
everybody has a problem?
huh?
Or maybe I knew like that would be my sign that I would be crossing that next.
Well, true, yeah.
I mean, like,
But I just
shame
meant like,
them?
I don't know why you ever would have suspected that you had potential for there to be a problem given the hereditary of,
Oh my gosh.
of that.
my hereditary, my social.
Yeah, what you surround yourself with.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
everything about it. There's a lot to undo, you
Yeah.
know, when you're looking at your connection with alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was never a huge drinker anyways, like, so that wasn't really that difficult for
Yeah.
me. Just the length of time between when I was drinking would be longer and longer until like this last time. Like that's,
Yeah, and I feel like that's where I'm at now. Like,
and like, don't get me wrong, I did have a ceremonial, you know, few sips of champagne the other day.
absolutely.
So, and I did have a couple of sips of margarita on Collier weekend just for nostalgia.
Yep.
And actually it burned my throat so bad. I was like, oh my God, how did I just used to drink an entire pitcher of these things?
See, surprising. I love them all of a sudden these days.
Oh, I got to a point, like, that's all I would drink. Well, pandemic, that became my drink during the pandemic because that one place over the bridge you could do
like
to
at
go.
home?
Yeah, so I would get margaritas
Wow.
from there often. Yeah,
Yeah, because I used
maybe
to.
like once a week. That was my self-care during the pandemic, is I would get my favorite dish from there and a margarita and get drunk by myself and cry.
I know. So, and that's. I remember there was a lot of.
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think there's
crying
some
times.
therapy in it, and I think it's just about like
Yep.
looking at your connection to it and why you're using it. Why are you, you know, is it like, for me, I knew that it was to get through a social situation. And it, I think, ultimately took EMDR to be able to get through social situations without it,
Right.
right? Like,
So what did how did EMDR help you get
I
through?
don't fucking know, that shit's
Just kind
magic.
of just change the way you.
Yep. I mean, for me, I went in like, I had this one, like I mentioned in my episode with Tara.
Kind of triggers some.
Yeah, I mentioned bullying was one of the things that I worked on in a lot of my EMDR sessions. And
pause, did you go into the session knowing,
No.
all right, today I'm going to work on bullying?
no,
Okay.
no. I went into the round of EMDR intentionally working on fear and why I was so afraid to speak publicly and why I was so afraid to start the podcast. That was what I was going into the EMDR for.
Can you get rid of the shovel? You got a friggin' forest fire over here. Well, get your ass up now. Oh, I'm just kidding.
What's happening?
You got a forest fire over here.
Where? Oh,
Right here.
I didn't see. God damn it, Kim.
Thank God my neighbors are firefighters.
Well, can we go to Glens Falls and request fire assistance, please?
I'm sorry?
If we're going to have a fire where we need fire assistance, I'd rather do it in Glens Falls.
Why?
I mean, you know why.
I don't know
Most
why.
of my dirtlings know why.
Say that again?
You don't know why I would want to start a fire in Glens Falls and have Glens Falls firemen come rescue me?
I didn't realize that was the...
I think that's where I was going. If we're going to burn shit down, let's do it in Glens Falls. No?
I mean, that's not appropriate.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
So how did we get to my EMDR? What
I don't know, Gert.
It just flows. It's just how you roll. Are you the host or am I the host?
Not really sure these days.
Your episodes, I end up talking more than you do.
I know.
Sorry about that. Do you have more that you want to say?
No, I'm getting it in there.
Yeah? Do you have anything more you want to say about your healing journey? I briefly mentioned ACE scores, but I think that's the topic for season 2.
Yeah? You don't want to get into it?
Huh?
Yeah. Okay, that works.
I don't think we have time to really get into it tonight.
No, I agree.
And I mean, maybe just this brief mention. I'll leave in this brief mention, and people can start Googling what ACE scores is, and then we can have a further discussion about it in season 2.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yep.
So, anything else you want to say? Guess what?
What?
I hit 1,000 downloads.
Chicken butt. Yay, when?
Today.
Whoa.
I think it might have been today.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what my goal was, though?
Tell me.
2,000.
Fuck. By this time?
By the end.
Well, you still got time. When's the end?
September 26th.
Wow. You
Yeah.
got lots rolling.
I got this one, Jen, Laura, Angie. I got 5 more episodes.
Oh, Angie.
Angie. Yep. She agreed. Finally agreed. Not finally.
Yeah.
But we set a date to record, so
Gotcha.
it's happening. I'm excited.